Well, excited to get here today. Obviously, this is our second round, and this is always kind of the kickoff of it. A lot of my coaches one more round of golf. So moved the venue this week, obviously, to the Atkins course here. And I know a couple of my guys that are golfers. They've played this a couple times already, and are excited to get out here. It's kind of fun to watch this group. Some guys that take golf very, very seriously, and some guys are ready to get into football. So it's always a combination, but good day. I know we got a huge turnout. With local, and I think some people have traveled as far as New York to get here. So a little bit bigger crowd than a year ago, but really the summer's flown by. Last week we finished up our 8 weeks. Just so many indicators every day that would come across that just get you excited about the growth that we've had from a year ago to this year. Not really talking about the growth of the players, just things, the expectations, the rule this year to be able to be engaged with our players during the course of the summer on the field with a football. That part was really unique and entertaining, and I think really good for the transitional players, the freshmen that hadn't been here before, to get on the grass with our coaches this summer has been huge. Almost have our entire roster here. I think we're waiting on one more guy to officially be admitted into school, and then we'll be at our roster for fall camp, and excited for that. Got media days coming up here on Wednesday. Got 3 guys between Quan and the Brown brothers. Very excited to get those guys, let them have their opportunity to get over in front of Indy, in front of the media, and show what they've been seeing and witnessing themselves. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Do you expect everybody ready to go fall camp health-wise?
Yeah, there's really 2 guys. Sean Miller is kind of in the final stages of clearance from his injury in the spring. But really, other than that, we have, unfortunately, T. Rod Edwards, who had an incredible summer going, unfortunately tweaked his knee just about 2 weeks ago. So he had a minor procedure that he'll be right up to about probably 2 weeks out from game, somewhere in that ballpark. So not considerable amount of time, but obviously was extremely disappointed for him. But had an incredible summer, really changed his body and done a lot of positive things. So excited to get him back sooner than later. But the way the NCAA rule works with this thing, we actually have to cut our roster down to 110. We carry a 118-man roster now. And unfortunately, the NCAA still has us get it down to 110. That rule got implemented about 20 years ago, and for whatever reason, they don't want to change it. But he'll be in our 110 count because we're so sure that he's going to be back with us in game week.
I'm not sure which one you can talk about. So you added some transfers this summer.
Yes.
Which can you talk about?
Let's see. Jonah Morris, wide receiver, has joined us about a week ago. R.J. Wilkins, a defensive lineman from Vanderbilt, who's from Chicagoland area. Cody Case, another wide receiver that joined us from South Dakota. Trying to think if there's any others. That's about it, I think, right now.
What are the 2 wide receivers add to that?
Jonah is a big, tall. I actually had a chance to lay eyes on him for the first time working out last Friday. He's definitely fits the docket in that regard. Athletic. I think he catches the ball extremely well. Cody Case is a dynamic, probably a little bit of inside slot receiver / outside, but also as a punt return guy, kick return guy. Dad is a high school football coach out of Iowa. Just you've got a lot of intangibles that you really can't put a price tag on. And then when you watch this film, just a really exciting, dynamic guy to watch. Not only obviously in their conference they play good football, but he had some crossover games against Power Fives, and really was intrigued with the way he competed in those games and the things I saw.
You wanted to add depth up front. What's RJ at?
It does. RJ is, to be quite honest, if we were been here a couple years prior, would have been a guy that for sure I think we would have recruited out of high school. He's athletic. He's big. He comes from Vanderbilt, so obviously takes care of the things away from the game. Haven't been able to get with him in a D-line spectrum yet, but I was impressed with the way he showed up here the latter part of summer. He had to finish up some things at Vanderbilt, but I know our guys are very excited and have been impressed with him so far.
Did you accomplish what you maybe set out to do, in the transfer portal at the start of that whole process?
As you guys know, I saw you write about it. The 85 rule really, I think, has changed the game now, right? That you can literally add and subtract players as they come and go in your program, and I think we thought that was going to come a little earlier than it did, so we weren't really able to recruit. By the time that rule got passed, that window had gone by a little bit because declaration that the players had to get in the portal by a certain day. There's some still logistics where guys can literally get in the portal today and still have an opportunity, I think, but it had to be a waiver. So for what we knew at the time, I'm very excited to add positional players that we thought in our roster we kind of had voids, holes that needed to be filled. So I think we accomplished that, but the real proof in the pudding will be, obviously when we put the pads on.
Luke obviously was John Mackey Award watch list guy. Is there an excitement level as to what he could accomplish if he puts
Luke, you said?
Forward?
Yeah, Luke is obviously, everybody knows the story, right? I recruited him originally out of high school, and he's committed to us at Arkansas. To come full circle and to be in his final year of college football with him is exciting. I think Luke knows that, the things that he's done before this season probably have fallen short of what he wants to accomplish. So we've been engaged literally since last January, February, what he would like this senior year to be, not just for him personally, but for us as a football program. So I'm excited about that room. I think Tip O'Neill, Mike Marquez, those two guys in particular, I think are going to bring a lot to the position, especially in Barry's offense and what he asks the tight ends to do. To be quite honest, one of the guys as a freshman that has come in and really kind of showed up. Two guys really. We have Cargill, who was a tight end that came in from West Palm Beach, who's been exciting, athletic, and then Henry Boyer, who I think last year when he came on the scene, everybody kind of thought he was going to be growing into this tackle type, and I've said all along, no, he's a tight end, and he has been really impressive since getting on campus. The way he runs, the way he learns, the maturity level. Him and Gabe Ackus, really two guys opposite positions, but comparable in the way they've impacted the program since they got here.
Thoughts on UCLA and USC?
Yeah, I think obviously when I got the phone call that was going down, I'm sure there was an initial reaction like everybody. For me, it immediately went to, having a guaranteed opportunity that every kid's going to get to play in the Rose Bowl is really special and unique. We've done limited West Coast recruiting during my tenure as a head coach before I came here, so I think it opens up a recruiting window, but more of what could possibly come down, right? Like the idea that I think it's going to stop there would be short-sighted by I think a lot of people. I'm not giving any information. I don't know, but I do know that the addition of those two definitely brings the brand of Big Ten football to a higher level.
You've been a proponent of divisions, and that seems like it
Yeah.
could threaten those divisions.
Yeah.
Where do you land on
I think that the divisions as we know it East-West was in a limited time window as it was. I'm obviously playing under the rules this year. I would really be excited. Actually, when the announcement came that they'd be playing possibly in 24, I got excited because I thought that would guarantee the East-West divisions for at least another year beyond this year. But obviously that's beyond my pay grade. They'll decide that at the athletic director's level and the conference level. So hopefully it preserves us for one more year going into 24. And the neat thing for me personally, right, like when I was at Wisco, we were the last team to win the championship without a championship game. We were the first to win it with a championship game, and we were first to ever repeat as a champion under the current system. So whether it's this year or next year is the last year of the East-West, it's kind of neat to see divisional play kind of as a head coach at two different spots.
Is there anything specific that you saw from your team, or just a feeling you had just with that new rule after 8 weeks of summer where you had more interaction?
I think overall we've had a huge emphasis on just physically running a lot and speed of the game and getting our guys in a position to be a little bit more developed than they were a year ago. But just overall accountability questions. I remember coming into work on a Saturday morning at like 6:30 during recruiting, and we had like 8 guys out there on their own time, throwing. I'll come over Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. I'll bring my daughters into work to go run around in the indoor or something, and we'll have linebackers doing grass drills out on the grass field. We opened up that grass field. Probably people that are in town noticed we took the tarps down and wanted that area to breathe and really have taken that grass field to a different level. I'm excited because we'll practice on that quite a bit. There's just so many things in our program that I, as a head coach, know are indicators of what's to come. I think people can slowly see it, but I'm really excited to get work with this group.